Energy Department funded Chinese defense, quantum research, lawmakers fined. The U.S. Department of Energy funded research done in collaboration with Chinese researchers and institutes linked to China's defense research and industrial complex, according to a congressional report published December 17. Lawmakers with the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, and House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence are calling on the federal agency to improve due diligence. Representative John Molinar, chair of the House Select Committee on the CCP, in a press release called the investigation's findings deeply alarming, as the practice effectively puts American taxpayers on the hook for funding the military rise of our nation's foremost adversary. The department must stop providing funding to grantees who allow this exploitation and protect hard-earned taxpayer dollars, he stated. Senator Tom Cotton, chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, said the lapse gave Beijing front-row access to critical dual-use technologies, such as those used in next-generation military aircraft, electronic warfare systems, and radar. Representative Rick Crawford, chair of the House Intelligence Committee, said the findings were more evidence of the CCP actively working to exploit lapses in research security and amounted to systemic plunder. It is time to take a more vigilant approach to ensure we are enforcing safeguards in academia and in both government and private research, he said. The Department of Energy oversees 17 national laboratories and funds research to advance energy, environmental, nuclear, and other transformative science technologies. The lawmakers also noted that as of 2025, about 2,000 Chinese nationals work in DOE-backed labs. They said DOE executives provided reasoning the lawmakers found naive. In effect, we want them in our labs so they can see how advanced we are and go back to China telling their colleagues, thus giving up on beating the United States. The lawmakers said that decades of empirical evidence show the CCP strategy is to embed scientific talent abroad to absorb, replicate, and leapfrog U.S. capabilities through reverse engineering and targeted technology transfer. The DOE told the Epoch Times it would review the congressional report. The Department of Energy takes seriously its responsibility to steward federal funds and safeguard critical research capabilities, a spokesperson said. It will continue rigorous due diligence and oversight of awards, including those made during the Biden administration, to ensure the integrity and security of DOE programs. The department will review the House report to better assess, understand, and validate its assertions. Advancing Chinese tech capabilities. The investigation found about 4,350 research papers published between June 2023 and June 2025 that acknowledged DOE funding or research support, as well as research relationships with Chinese entities. Half those papers were done in partnership with entities in the Chinese defense research and industrial base. Those entities include some of China's leading universities for defense research, known as the Seven Sons of National Defense. They also include China's National University of Defense Technology, the Chinese Academy of Engineering Physics, which is China's primary nuclear weapons research and development complex, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, which describes itself as the highest consultancy for science and technology in China and is among the biggest research institutions in the world, and other institutions that have played a part in the CCP's mass surveillance of citizens. Some of the papers also cite research support from Chinese institutions, such as the use of two Tianhe supercomputers from the National Supercomputer Center Zhengzhou, which were developed by a Chinese military research institution on the U.S. Commerce Department entity list. Others have extensive access to U.S. research infrastructure. For example, a 2023 paper on machine learning was co-authored by researchers from Princeton University, the Flatiron Institute, Xiamen University, Peking University, Tsinghua University, ByteDance, China's leading search engine Baidu, and China's National University of Defense Technology. Computational resources for the project were provided by an array of U.S. platforms and institutions. The risk that the co-research will advance Chinese defense capabilities is not hypothetical, the report's authors said. They pointed to Chinese language sources, such as one that credited nitrogen research done in collaboration with a U.S. professor as a contributor to breakthroughs in high-yield explosives and advancements in Chinese nuclear weapons development. The individual, unnamed in the report, received an award from the Chinese regime for his work. According to the report, documents from a Chinese governmental body credited another such collaboration with advancing Chinese aerospace technology. It led China to develop new materials and technologies for cutting-edge defense weapons and equipment, such as nanomaterial synthesis, multi-scale fine structure control, as well as additive manufacturing technology, and continuously narrow the technology gap with more advanced countries, according to the document. Other research areas include aircraft propulsion, high-performance cooling, electrocatalytic water splitting, quantum communication, quantum phase transition, iron bonding with light elements, and other aerospace, quantum, and AI-related topics. Research gap. The report follows a House Select Committee on the CCP investigation published in September, which found that the Pentagon funded Chinese military-related research through grants as well. The report identified some 1,400 research papers with Pentagon funding that listed Chinese collaborators. Just over half of those collaborators had ties to the Chinese defense research and industrial base. The committee has also published several reports over the past few years, highlighting areas where U.S. institutions receiving federal funding, generally universities, are collaborating with Chinese institutions with ties to the regime. These reports have resulted in some universities ending their partnerships with Chinese institutions. Other researchers have also sounded the alarm on the academic loophole enabling the sharing of sensitive research with Chinese state-linked entities. On December 8, analyst firm Strategy Risks published a report finding top Western universities collaborate extensively with Chinese AI labs, including some with ties to the CCP's genocide of Uyghurs. Chinese institutions and media have also highlighted the role of overseas research in advancing Chinese capabilities. The report cited a 2017 South China Morning Post article titled, "America's Hidden Role in Chinese Weapons Research." According to the article, there were so many scientists who worked at the DOE's Los Alamos National Laboratory and other top U.S. labs before returning to China that they earned the nickname Los Alamos Club.